You're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast with Kevin, Danny, Eli, and Lee. Oh, I love the way their foul little minds work. Yeah.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast.
They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sana, everyone. You're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana. And on this show, we invite you to feel the libations.
Feel it, feel it.
We are artistic buffs talking about Disney stuff, and this is the show where every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us for this episode. We discuss Disney announcements, Universal announcements, all the stuff, man. It's been a crazy week. And look, this isn't your typical polished practice Pixie This and Disney podcast. No, sir. We are not in the parks every day trying to tell you the exact time when their harmonious barges will leave World Showcase Lagoon.
That's right, Kev. We're to drink, talk some Disney, and rush you through these announcements so we can get Eli downtown for the Miss Universe pageant.
That's right. So without any further ado, let's get the show going.
My name is Kevin.
I'm Benny.
I'm Eli.
I'm Lee. That's it.
I just heard,
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Sound like you had an epileptic seizure.
I know, I was about to say, we got to call 911?
Yeah.
Houston over there?
Click the little thingy on your life alert bracelet, Lee.
I'm falling and I can't get up.
So, guys, that's Lee.
That is Lee.
You didn't hear that out of the whatever came out of there.
So, guys, look, enough of our jibber jabber, literally. Let's go discuss some theme park news. Well, guys, you know that tune means it's time for another Q segment, and this is the segment in which we get to discuss all the news and happenings in the world of Disney today, or theme park world, I should say. We'll expand it out just a little bit because there's a little chess play between two of the big major players in theme park entertainment, Universal as well as Disney. And so, yeah, if you're any fan, man, we're recording this on Saturday, January 14th. The week prior, we're getting a lot of news that's happening as everybody campaigns for your summer dollars.
Yeah, we're living in interesting times. That is for sure.
So I split these news segments into three different things, man. Three different little sections that I thought were kind of interesting. I have what I call the Disney olive branchy type stuff, Universal new stuff, and Disney's new stuff.
Okay.
All of these things were released over the course of the week. We have our travel agent here who's going to help us take through this stuff. But this first set of things is the Disney olive branchy type stuff. But we got things like, park hopping at Disneyland, parking at the Walt Disney Resorts, ride photos for Genie Plus, APs not needing a park res, stuff like that, So all that to me feels a little olive branchy from the Disney company. So Lee, why don't you take us through the news, man? What's the first thing you want to bring to the people's attention? All of which can be booked through Lee of Magical Moments Vacations.
Yeah, because this is all good news for Lee, right?
Yeah, this is all good stuff, man. And I like that term, olive branch, because it's about time they extended the fans an olive branch, man. They've been take. And, it's time to give a little, I like this. I think this was some good stuff. And, I think it's all positive. There's not really anything here that I can complain about. So,
Lee, would you say that they listened to our show about reasons to fall in love with Disney all over again? And then they took that as a means of, that's what we need to do. We need to give our fans reason to fall in love with coming to Disney all over again. So would you say they copied us?
I would say it was a very interesting coincidence that show was released and not a mere 7 days later. Here we are.
That is true.
So that's hey, take it for what it is. I don't know if Bob and company listen to the Magic Our Way podcast, but if you do, thank you. And if you don't, then screw you.
Yeah, we appreciate the support. Yeah, if not, we don't. Yeah.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, yeah, we can just start at the top. Like I said, we got park hopping coming back to Disneyland, which it's been there, but like Walt Disney World, it was after 2:00. So now at Disneyland, you can start park hopping at 11 a.m. in the morning. So that is great, man. I wish that, and I hope that comes our way to Florida, because sometimes you're in a park like Animal Kingdom and you don't need to be there till past 11. So, so this is a positive. I like this.
Some of us don't get into the parks until 11.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
There you go. Right? There's that too. So it's nice to be wherever you are in the parks. You're in Disneyland, and you think, I'd like to just head over and try to get me a spot for Radiator Springs Racers. Let's go over there. Oh wait, I can't go till 1:00. By that time, it's going to be a 2-hour wait. Well, now you can hop on over, walk on over like 10:45, be waiting at the gate at 11, and go on in. So I like it. I think this is good.
So you can book like like early lunch or lunch at Carthay Circle, not later, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So if you wanted like a noon lunch, you could do that now if you hopped over, if you had a hopper.
Yeah, me. Who doesn't want to hop over for a nooner? I'm with you.
Neener.
Yeah.
It really is a hop, too. Yeah. Go across the street.
Just boom.
I like that. It's so nice.
Yeah, but as usual, the best Disney parks vacation in the States can be found in California, Disneyland.
Right.
I'm sure Lee will get to this, but that's just one of the things that Disneyland got, right?
Yeah, there's something, we'll talk about that on the end of the show, on the end segment. But yeah, this is Disneyland is coming back, man.
No, this is great news.
That's awesome.
It is
I
good
like
news. It confirms to me that if I'm taking my next park vacation, unless I just really need to go see that Tron coaster, which I'll be honest, at this point, to me, the Tron coaster's kind of come like the Guardians of the Galaxy coaster. I've kind of ran out of enthusiasm to see it. It's like I've heard about it for so long. It's like
I have to say, why ever could make you do that, Danny?
I don't know, 7 years of waiting.
7 years of waiting.
Right.
7 years of slave.
Yeah.
7-year itch.
7 years of slave.
Maybe been 8. I don't know. I'd have to recalculate. But once again, Disneyland, the place to be.
All right. Yeah, now you will no longer be charged for parking at your Walt Disney World Resort. This is good.
All right.
I like it. Good stuff.
I wouldn't call it good. I would call it a correction.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
it's hard to call something good when something should have never happened to begin with, and they get rid of it.
yeah, it's kind of like if it's meh, or nah, it's a meh.
It is.
It's like,
It is, yeah.
thanks for giving us what we had before.
Especially for me, because it's not going to save me a dime because we always fly. But still, I find it to be amazing news because, again, it never should have happened in the first place, and it's not like Disney to reverse a revenue-making decision.
Right.
I mean, very rarely. Again, Iger's getting credit for this, but it was his decision to do this. I don't know. That part of it disturbs me. That it's like, oh, look at Bob. He's coming in and making these changes. Yeah, he's changing what he did, not what Chapek did.
Yeah, this is actually one of the ones that made it feel very olive branchy for sure.
Yes.
I drive and I park there, and it never really affected me because DVC members could get park for free. But still, if you're not a DVC member and you were just at the regular resorts, I look around and there's like a ton of cars. So they were making money off of that hand over fist almost. Maybe not hand over fist.
I was going to say,
maybe just like in your hand. just hand.
Yeah.
Straight up a hand.
And a finger.
Yeah, and maybe a finger. Yeah.
I mean, look, the parking costs him what, like $15 a day if you're staying at
Value.
value, 20 if you're staying at moderate, 25 at deluxe. That's like that's a drink at Disney. I mean, you're talking about for one day. If
you got to give up
20,
a drink. Yeah,
it's a lapu. Is really what it amounts to.
Which is precious to me.
Which is precious, but in Disney money, $20, nothing. So yeah, they were making money off of it, no doubt. But this isn't going to hurt them.
Yeah, maybe not a ton of money, because I was thinking about this. Really, it's like, yes, people do drive, and they're making some money, but I'm wondering, like, if they looked at this and said, "Hey, we're making a little money here, but it wouldn't kill us to not have this revenue," because we have a lot of international people that come from all over the world. They've all got to fly. Who's driving? Georgia, maybe New York. East Coasters. But I mean, I'm in Texas. We fly. I mean, we have driven, but we'll fly if at all humanly possible.
Same here. Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, while it is good, I'm thinking maybe this was an easy decision to be like, hey man, we'll take a little loss here for some good press.
It's kind of sinister. Like it feels like Kevin called it an olive branch. To me, it was like they picked through the carcass and found the cheapest bone that they could possibly throw to us. Like the most, like, what what won't hurt us? Like,
Yeah.
what's that? Like the appendix. It's like the appendix.
Take it out.
This isn't gonna affect us really one way or another. We're already making an exorbitant amount of money on these marked. I mean, it's like what? $600 a night to stay at the Contemporary, $700 at the Polynesian, $800 at the Grand Floridian a night. Your parking fees are already built into that. I mean, I'm sorry.
Just to hide it in there, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's an outrageously overpriced room. You're barely in the damn thing just by virtue of having paid the ticket cost to be out of the room, and that they're charging you that much money. They're not losing anything major off of this. Like, yeah, it just feels sinister. Like they just looked at it and like, what can we cut that would make them think they're getting some kind of a deal? What can we give them that, as you put it, as an olive branch? I just think they're just throwing us a bone.
Yeah, I bet you there's a line item somewhere where it's like, okay, we're going to lose $25, but let's raise the hotel cost by $5 each year. We'll have it back in the next 4 to 5 years.
And would you even notice at this point?
No, because and that's the thing. It's like it's if it's built in, it's out of sight, out of mind. You don't notice it. But the fact when they originally implemented this thing, you saw it. There was a you named the one night stand, right?
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. You gave it a name, so now you got to live with it, kind of thing. And that's one of the first times I remember when we were doing this, covering this when the news first broke, that it felt very nickel and dimey, you know. So,
and I think now what they're doing is they're throwing back the nickels to catch dollars, or throwing back the guppies to catch great whites, or whatever you want, however you want to put it. Like, I think they know this kind of gave them such a bad look, and that just added one more reason to where people don't need to stay on site. Now you're paying for parking, and that just makes it even more so that, okay, well, I'll just park off site. So I think this is their way of trying to bring people back to the hotels.
All right, next on the docket, annual pass holders no longer need a park day reservation after 2 p.m., which is a weird thing anyway. Like, if you're going after 2, why do you even need a park reservation? Because if you are hopping at 2, you don't need a park reservation. So why would an annual pass person need a park reservation anyway?
Because the parks are just full that day. They've given out all the spots that they could possibly give out.
No more room in the inn.
no more room in the inn.
Now, this does not include Saturdays and Sundays at Magic Kingdom Park.
Right.
Okay. It's usually typically pretty busy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this news doesn't really affect me much because I haven't been an annual pass holder in a while.
No, yeah, it doesn't affect me either. I'm good for the annual pass holders, I suppose.
Yeah.
But how about we just do it away with it for everybody? People are telling you they don't like it, and they're like, no, we need it. They don't. Lord knows how they functioned up until this point without the damn park reservation system.
Yeah, I don't need to beat a dead horse. I'll be glad when the whole park reservation thing is done. It's silly and it's arbitrary. And is Disney as a corporation going to be a little more inconvenienced with their payroll and their scheduling and things? Yes, they're not going to be able to know, hey, on X day we got X amount of people coming in. But you know what? So what? So does everybody that works at the mall, and so does everybody that works at Home Depot, and where any other retail, anywhere where you deal with people. You kind of have an idea. You can look at the past, you can look at the previous years and the history, and look at your sales trend, and you can somewhat predict. Will there be some anomalies? Of course, and it's not like the guest experience and the customer service is improved dramatically because of the park system, the reservation system. Like, oh, look, now we've got the correct amount of staff to be. No, it's the same, if not, depending on who you ask, maybe even worse than it was before. So,
but Lee, the mall doesn't accommodate the amount of people Disney does on a given day.
Well,
That's
they
right.
still got to do business, you know? And they still got to run payroll, and they still have to figure out how to have enough people there for the peak times to service the customer. So if Disney can't do that, then what are they even doing?
Well, I mean, they're already making you buy park-specific days, right? Like, they've already sold you the ticket for that day, right? And then how it works, Lee, it's that ticket is for that one day.
Yeah.
Yes. So that should be your park. The fact that you sold me a ticket for that day should be my park reservation.
Yeah. I'm going to be here Tuesday.
Right. If I bought a ticket and I can use it any day of the week, and it doesn't matter when, okay, fine. I need a park reservation. But you know where I'm going to be in the parks. You may not know which park I'm going to be in because I bought a park hopper ticket. but that should not be my issue. Don't offer park hopping then. I mean, it's that simple. If you're going to offer park hopping, then people should be
Or
able
don't
to
charge
go,
for it.
Right, or charge less for it since we can only go during half the day. But they ain't going to do that. It's irritating to me because, I mean, like, again, last time we went over there, we walked into the Magic Kingdom and we didn't last long before we walked right back out because it's such a miserable experience. And I always liked that about park hopping in the past, is that when you walk into a park, you can be like, no, let's go to Animal Kingdom instead.
We'll come back later.
Right.
Back later.
Exactly.
We'll do something else. So, Lee, what else we got?
Well, what else do we have? So now with your Genie Plus, on the days that you purchase it, you now get your ride attraction photos and videos and things like that. So whereas before that was part of the photo pass with a memory maker, now you can get it with Genie Plus. So if you're in Magic Kingdom and you choose to buy the Genie Plus for that day, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, that video's there now. You don't have to pay for the photo pass to get it.
Yeah, that's a nice little addition that makes the price somewhat more palatable.
Yeah, palatable, I would say, yeah.
Especially since it's kind of gone down a bit, since the price of it has gone down a bit since the holidays. And again, as I just mentioned, they added the ability to modify selections. So I'm glad they're fine-tuning Genie Plus and getting it to where it needs to be. I just wish it hadn't come at the expense of so many people's vacations where they had us pulling our friggin' hair out and going nuts and swearing we'd never come back. But at the same time, I think to myself that this is the necessary next step that we need to start getting towards, is, okay, figuring out what works and what doesn't work. But for the people who have felt taken advantage of or robbed, or who have availed themselves of Disney Plus for the last, how long has it been around now? 2 years?
It's been 2 years.
Yeah, good solid year and a half.
Year and a half, yeah. Okay.
For the last year and a half, if you bought Disney Genie Plus, you deserve something. You deserve like look, we're so sorry. Here's like $100 off.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, my thing with this is like, this is nice and all, but in my head, I'm thinking this is enough to offset the fact that I have to be up at 7 to do something.
Yeah.
To make some kind of a selection. I don't know. That piece just kind of bothers me because I like to sleep in.
Yeah,
like a lot of us do. I know Lee's good with the 7 o'clock, but for me, especially me and my family, we're on vacation. We're gonna rest up, and it's like, yes, I could wake up later, but I might not get anything.
Well, also, it wasn't as big of a deal when you weren't paying for it. It's like, I'm going to sleep in, and I might miss my Toy Story Midway Mania, but that's the risk I'm willing to take to get some extra sleep. But now you pay for it, so you're like, no, man, I got to get up, I got to do this, I got to do that.
Right? Yeah.
Well, and that's what I would say is that my counter proposal: why not do like Max Pass? You can't book it until you're in the park. That's it.
I was just about to say that's kind of like with the old paper system. It's like, yeah, you couldn't get anything until you were in the park, and I would be totally fine with it.
And whenever you went into the park, you can go to the park at 2, 3 o'clock, and there were still fast pass reservations for all the best rides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was always availability that way. So that would be my proposal for that. Just you can't book until you're in the park.
All right, so I think that rounds out the olive branchy type stuff. Wouldn't you say, Lee? Is there anything else
I think
we're missing?
That's pretty good. I think that's a good synopsis of what just transpired. Just for clarification, the parking situation is already happening. It's done. By the time you hear this, the parking's already free, so you're good to go there. Yeah, the park hopping at Disneyland starts on February 4th.
Soon.
The ride photos for Genie Plus just dates over the next few months. We don't have a solid date there, but that's basically coming online soon. Same thing for the APs beginning over the next few months.
Well, good. Like, again, all this, I mean, we can sit here and talk about, yay, this is nice, but we demand more.
Yeah, it's like whatever Mohican's Harry. He commented on our post in our group, Magic Our Pleasure Island Facebook group. He said, it's a start.
Yeah,
that's all he put. It's a start. It's like, yeah,
it's what is it? Cowboy Mouse. Still not good enough, y'all. Still not good enough. Still not good enough. I mean, because there are people just patting Disney on the back for these decisions, and I don't. I mean, these are moves that never should have happened. And it's not like Bob Iger woke up in the middle of the night and was visited by 3 ghosts, or just
maybe he was. Maybe one of them was Ryan Reynolds, and then Will Ferrell.
The only thing I can think of is that they've looked into the future, and their advanced bookings must not be looking too good.
You mean Madame Leota told him, like,
Yeah.
hey.
I think Madame Leota's like in regions.
She floated out of Haunted Mansion. She said, guys, I'm sorry. I'm here to entertain y'all, but I got to go talk to
I'll
these
be
people."
in regions beyond
Yes.
in Universal Studios. Bye.
And everybody in the ride's like, did she just leave? Like, what happened? Oh, where's the seance? All the instruments fell because she left the building. And here's this little head floating around the park, getting to the offices.
Hey, well, speaking of haunted,
Universal decides to make some of their own announcements to get in on the fun this past week.
Oh, you don't say.
I do, man. This is crazy. And we don't cover Universal stuff too often, but it is interesting because, I would
How
say,
it relates to Disney.
yeah, I would say they're probably their closest competitor. And so competition's happy. It's like Marvel DC, kind of, I guess. I don't know.
Well, and the timing of the announcement seems
Yes,
directly influenced.
Yeah, it's so about the middle of the week, Universal decides to release two announcements. And granted, they've had some hype with with Nintendo World opening up in Hollywood and stuff. YouTubers are posting videos, people are posting pictures that the props are starting to move and all this kind of stuff. So they had that kind of going, but then they decided to release these things. Lee, what was one of the first things that they released?
all right. Well, first thing is that Universal is coming to Vegas.
What happens in Vegas, Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this isn't going to be a theme park per se. It's going to be a year-round horror experience.
I love it.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
I thought you might like it, and I immediately thought about Joshua, and he loves all this. He loves Jason and Scream and Texas Chainsaw and all that stuff, man. He's a big horror fan too, and I thought this would be a cool experience to go check out, especially that it's open year-round. I thought that was like, okay, man, now that's pretty serious. All right, so it's going to be the company's first permanent horror experience outside of its theme parks, which hosts Universal's highly popular Halloween Horror Nights each fall. So this is what Universal says. Universal is known for our ability to deliver original, highly themed, and terrifying horror entertainment experience for millions of fans every year. Paige Thompson, president of New Ventures for Universal Parks and Resorts, said in the statement, "We are excited to give our global fan base yet another way to get scared and have fun with fear in the heart of Las Vegas, the perfect place for this type of unique concept." So, yeah, I think that is... I'm trying to think if there would have been a better place than Universal, better place than Vegas. But that's pretty damn good, man. Especially,
But what you're missing, Lee, is you mentioned the part that this is an expansion to an existing entertainment district that's already in Vegas called Area 15.
right? Okay, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, which is like a play on Area 51, right? So it's a lot of different things, like a lot of blacklight experiences, events, and places to eat and drink, and this will be an expansion to that. So they're bringing the whole mystique of Universal's Halloween Horror Nights, which one day I want to make.
Oh, God, yeah.
I would love to see that.
We saw the setup for it during the daytime over at Universal Studios California.
Yeah, right before we were
That must have
leaving.
been cool.
It is so cool. It is so cool the way they had everything tarped off, and like you went on a tram tour and all these areas that you kind of get to wander through in the back areas of the tram tour. They have like bodies, but they're
Yeah,
covered up so
yeah,
that way.
like tarps and- yeah.
Because we were driving by the Psycho set, and one of the kids like, "I see a dead body."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, kid," and sure enough, there were feet, and I was like, "Oh yeah," and then you start seeing it everywhere, and it's like, okay, so this is part of the horror night experience.
Yeah. So one day I will definitely see that, and Universal does a really good job with all that, and it's a really good lockdown. But the Area 15 it already has like immersive cinema type experiences, alternate reality type experiences.
You see, now I didn't know that about how that was. So that makes to me it makes it make more sense, because I thought it made sense to begin with, because like, yeah, this kind of thing doesn't belong. This is an adult centric park. This is not for kids. Well, what else is not for kids that young people might want to go experience while they're out having a good time in Vegas? They might like this.
They might like
the
this.
setup, yeah.
They lost all their money, so they want to do something different.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Scare their girlfriends, hold them at night.
I am kind of excited to see this.
Yeah, me too.
It's only 4 hours, 4-hour drive from Anaheim, so that's not a bad thing.
Ooh, road trip.
Yeah, road trip. Go to Disneyland, maybe hit 4 hours. It's check this thing out. Now, granted, this Area 15 is kind of new. It's like, September 2020 is when it opened. So it's relatively new. So like a couple of years later, then they're adding Universal. I think it's just going to enhance this entire complex.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
All right. And so Universal announced something else, right, Lee?
Yeah, and this one, I got to say, this one hurt me a little bit.
Hurt you?
A little bit?
I'm about to say it's closer to home for you, right?
It is, but you know how long it's been since Houston's had a park?
Since Astroworld.
Since Astroworld, Waterworld, which I used to love,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, that was the spot growing up, man. Your parents would drop you off at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and they come pick you back up at 9 o'clock at night, and you just had all day to yourself and just did it big. And it was so much fun, man. I have so many memories from Astroworld and the water park and the teen club.
Teen club?
All that stuff. Yeah, man, there was a teen club.
I remember the teen club.
Oh, yeah. Man, I'll think of the name of it in a minute. Videosity.
Videosity.
Yeah, they did they used to do like a live stream. It wasn't called live stream back then, but like you could see it on Fox channel, whatever, that at night you could watch it and stuff. But yeah, man. So anyway, this is just another jab at Houston by not getting it, but it is still pretty cool that it's going to be this close by.
Whenever I picture a young Lee Lastavica, for some reason he still has a beard and gray hair. I can't explain it.
Oh, for me, he's wearing that little banana hammock that he has in the background. Yeah.
I like to picture my Lee and a
banana hammock. Yeah. That's what makes him young.
I like to picture Lee with the sunglasses on that look like different geographical shapes on it and stuff. It says, I'm wild and you're a travel agent, but I like to party.
Silly, what's up with this place? So where are they building it and that makes you so butthurt?
Yeah, like
what is it?
Well, it's Frisco, which is basically Dallas. So it's 4.5 hours away. So it's not bad. It's just, again, dude, it's like, when is Houston going to get it together and get a theme park again, man? It's like we're the 4th largest city in the United States and we don't have a theme park.
Maybe that's the problem. It's too damn trafficy.
Too big.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's a big city. There's space somewhere. There's a big empty field what used to be Astroworld still there. It's just a big piece of grass.
Why are you bitching, man? We still have a park rotting away.
In the swamp.
Right up the street from Eli's house.
Yeah.
Alligators going in there.
Coming in and out. Sometimes I hang out by the roller coaster tracks. Just remember what used to be.
He sits there and listens. Oh, the screams.
I hear the Phantom tracks going.
We finally got like a little itty bitty teeny tiny amusement park and like, yay. And then boom,
It's over.
Katrina, it's over.
It's over.
And
Yeah.
they've been fighting over that land ever since
A
then.
skoosh
And now we're back to Storyland.
of amusement. Yeah.
Come on, I'm sure Houston has a great Wolf Lodge or something like that, right?
Yeah, don't you have a
we don't even have
slumber?
that. I mean,
You don't have that?
No, we've got like a.
You gotta have a water park.
Don't you have the Slumberg or something? What is
You got a
it?
West Bond? Oh, Schlitterbahn.
Yeah,
Oh, that's in
one of those?
Galveston, I think.
Technically, that's in Galveston, so that's not even in Houston.
That's not too
Well,
Yeah, I guess
Not
so,
too far.
yeah.
Y'all just charge too much for taxes then. That's what you got to talk
Y'all
to
just
your
too
people.
big,
yeah.
man.
You got to talk
That's
to your
what it is.
councilman on that. Don't get butthurt over this, Lee. Talk to your councilman.
All right. So here, check this out. So I think where you want to begin with this is with the understanding that this is not going to be as big footprint-wise as Universal Orlando or even Universal Hollywood for that matter. It's going to be a much smaller scale. So keep that in mind when you hear that Universal's coming to Dallas. There's no official announcements as to what attractions, lands, et cetera, is going to be in here. But I like this concept that they're doing with this smaller theme park. I think it's going to be easier to make changes if you need to, per se, things like that. But it's interesting that this is kind of the next thing they're going towards is this smaller footprint. And it's also like a suburb of Dallas. So it's not like right in the middle of Dallas, things like that. So, I mean, check out the concept art. You can kind of read between the lines and see, but I'd be interested to wonder if they're going to include any very large rides like the Hulk or something of that nature. Because again, this is more kid friendly, it says.
Yeah.
Whereas total opposite in Vegas, right? They're going horror 24/7, 365. But this is going to be geared more towards younger kids. And I think that's interesting, or I'm wondering how it's going to work out because I don't think of Universal as really the kid-friendly park. If you tell me your kids are 5 and 9, I'm recommending Disney 100%.
Yeah.
You know, you tell me they're 12, 13, teenagers, young adults. Oh, yeah, well, let's do Universal. But kid-friendly, younger audience is not what first thing I think of when I think of Universal. But that being said, if they can Harry Potter this thing and make it real immersive and do it right, this could be interesting where this leads us.
Well, and that's maybe a reason why doing such a smaller park is because they know they don't really have a whole lot in that department to fill a kids area that they could do over, because that's a knock on Universal. When you go to Universal Land, if you got a young kid, you might as well just go to Disney.
Right.
There really just isn't enough there for them to do. But this is kind of unique, and this is why I think it might work, is that this won't be taking away any business from their theme parks whatsoever. This will be an opportunity for them to try out some stuff and develop a kids brand. And if it works, hey, guess what? We can just move that ride over into the parks, and that'll fill the old space where Shrek used to be, or wherever the hell. So I like this. It's kind of unusual. It's kind of different. I was initially, when I saw this, I was afraid this was going to be like another version of Disney Quest, where you have a bunch of video games that are outdated within a year of it being open. But these look like real attractions. If you zoomed in, which I did. I'm not sure about you, Kev.
Yeah, I looked into it, yeah.
All right, so what did you see when you zoomed in?
The first thing I saw when I zoomed in was the boat ride.
Yeah, the boat ride.
Smack dab in the middle. I was like, okay, that's an easy get. You could definitely have that.
I noticed that. I was trying to figure out if that was just like a kind of a scenic kind of thing, where you just got a nice little pleasant boat ride, but you get to see more of the what you call the park. But as far as lands go, I was trying to break that down.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, first and foremost, one of the things that put my mind at ease is the very front of it, where you can see that's a hotel. Like there's a hotel at the front of the park, kind of similar,
which is kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll have theme park views where people can look out into the parks and whatnot, and that's really cool.
Kind of like Disneyland Paris, right?
Yeah. So it kind of gives you a real appreciation as to how massive this thing. It's not going to be huge, but it's going to be big enough to where you might want to spend a day or so there.
Yeah. And just to back up with the boat thing, is I forgot to mention this part, but if you notice with the boat thing, you have those fountains in the front, but you notice it goes all throughout the park, which is kind of like a cool little, to your point, scenic little tour of the park. But I mean, you see a little water channel over by where that little starfish is, and it goes all the way back to, I guess, the back part of the park area. We got some other rides. It goes all the way, and it looks like some kind of Jurassic Park kind of area.
Yeah, Jurassic Park definitely in the left corner.
What if it's gonna be like a transportation system?
Oh,
that would be smart.
Well,
that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, good way to get around. I would say to the immediate right, when you look at it, where all the flowers and stuff like that looks like Trolls to me.
Yeah, I would say that.
Up above that is the area, because you can see a swamp area to the left of that, and what looks to be a kingdom to the right. So I'm thinking that's Shrek Swamp.
Shrekish, yeah.
And that's Lord Farquaad's place. What is it? It starts with a D.
Duloc. The Kingdom of Duloc, yeah.
That's what I was thinking is there. Obviously, yes, to the left is Jurassic Park. It's the one underneath that I can't really kind of get a read on.
Underneath, which one?
Jurassic Park.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, I mean, the one directly has looked like a volcano, and it's got like a...
Yeah, maybe like a big bonfire even.
You got that log flume off to the very left, which is kind of cool.
And if you look off to the very back of that, there's Tianas.
Tianas?
She's cooking for everybody.
That's Manamodi's.
God dang.
Manamodi's hut.
She's taking over everybody's attraction.
Yeah. Who want to eat? Tiana got it all. She got it all.
Hide your attractions. Hide your kids. Hide your wife.
There you go.
Hide your attractions.
But it's interesting with this park, though. It's like, first of all, I was thinking, now they try to go toe-to-toe with Six Flags. Maybe not if they open some more. But, because, Six Flags, even though, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it does have the neighborhood-type theme park on lockdown, because they have the properties. But to your point, Danny, I kind of see this also, maybe it is like testing grounds. It kind of like with a Broadway show, they do the same thing. They open in other cities, like say Chicago or San Francisco or LA, and they test it out there and workshop it before they take it to Broadway. Maybe this is the same thing. It's like, okay, we can easily replace different attractions here, maybe that are more kid friendly, so that we can capture that demographic that we know our parks don't really do as well. At least until, I guess, Nintendo World. But even though Nintendo World, there's still a certain age group there. You don't have the youngins either. But yeah, I could see them trying to test things here. If it's really popular there, then they could transport it to Tokyo, Hollywood, Orlando, wherever. And what was it? Abu Dhabi? Not Abu Dhabi. They're in They're in the Middle East somewhere. I forget the big.
I know what you're talking about.
Dubai, yeah. There's a Universal Dubai, yeah. They had that park out there, so I could totally see that being a good testing ground.
To go back to what you're saying about Six Flags, but Six Flags doesn't really have anything for kids either. So that's it.
That's true. You're right.
So there really isn't a competition. Like the closest thing you can come up to it was like maybe a Chuck E. Cheese, and Chuck E. Cheese has really just become a casino for children. It's kind of heartless and soulless. And the imagination and the world within. There's going to be no, and the games you play at Chuck E. Cheese, my God, you got better games on your cell phone.
Yeah,
you got better
absolutely.
games. Chuck E. Cheese is a dying business model. If these are real attractions, this could be a bit of a game changer here.
It could be, and the reason being, one of the reasons I think it could be a game changer is because it's where it's located.
Yeah,
because as of right now, I know we got Mohicans up, Michigan. If they want to travel to a major theme park, they got to go to Orlando, L.A. There's nothing like in the center of the country.
Sure,
right.
Go to Branson. It's like, okay, yeah, we got to go to Branson. No, there's no really a theme park there, but. If they just had to fly a little bit south to, let's say, Frisco, granted, it's still a little bit far. It's still gotta think it's cheaper than going like to either coast, because you do have that airport hub in Dallas,
right?
So this is interesting, especially for a Midwest, Western people in Mountain Time Zone and Central Time Zone, where they want to take their kids for someplace fun. I don't think this is on the scale of like what do you call it? What's that indoor water park place? Like,
Great Wolf Lodge.
Great Wolf, yeah. It's not the same as Great Wolf Lodge, so it's completely different.
Someone the other day described Great Wolf Lodge as Chuck E. Cheese, but wet and moldy.
Yeah,
that sounds like Chuck E. Cheese too, though. Wet and moldy.
Damn, I was gonna say
yeah.
You've been in the ball pit.
Yeah, they got nice commercials though. Wolf Lodge.
They do. They have great commercials.
They got great commercials. It looks clean. It doesn't look too moldy.
Yeah.
Eddie swears that Gabrielle got scarlet fever in the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese.
I could believe that.
Yeah, you can catch it whatever you want in that ball pit.
Yeah,
dude,
shoot.
It don't look too sanitary around there.
Right. All right. No, yeah, this definitely looks like it's a different kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You know what? It really kind of pisses you off at Disney. It's kind of funny because and I'm sure we're going to get to this in a second, so I'll just get to it now. It's as if here's Disney kind of going down on bended knee and going like, girl, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I should have never done what I did. I can change. I can bring it back and bring back the magic to you. Here, look. I should have never taken away free parking. Here's free parking.
He could change.
There's a little something for Genie Plus.
I'm going to try my best. I can't get rid of Genie Plus, but I can. Man, what about some free
this.
photos?
How about some hopping earlier?
And here's Universal just walking around like, girl, you want to fall for that dude's bullshit? Take him back. You know he's just going to raise prices after you take him back. And here, look, I gave you everything. I never cheated on you. Everything. I never nickeled and dimed you. And look what I've been working on for you. Brand new stuff.
I'm growing, baby.
Yeah.
I'm growing.
Here's something for your little brother.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you want to scare yourself in my arms, here's a little something for you.
I mean, yeah, you know what you're going to deal
It was
with.
such a pimp move for Disney to
like it.
step forward and being like, look, we're so sorry. Here you go. Here's a little something. And Universal just says, ha, have a cat. Look at this. Theme parks everywhere.
Everywhere, yes. That was going to be my last few cents, but you said that way more eloquently. Was like, yeah, Universal is pretty much peppering their brand. I mean, that's another great advantage that they're going to have and do.
As a Disney fan, it pisses you off because Disney could have easily done this.
Easily.
The whole thing about, you can't build any Marvel-themed attractions east of the Mississippi. They could have built a Marvel Land in Dallas.
In the middle of the country or something?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where people could have gone over there and experienced, and people would have loved to have done it. People would have paid through the nose to do it. Like if you had the Avengers headquarters as the hub, and then you branched off into Wakanda or Asgard or whatever, and all the people would have gone crazy for it. And now here they are watering down the Marvel brand, and they're cutting costs across the board. As here's Universal doubling down and just like they're spending money. Like, look, we're developing this. We're doing this. There's all kinds of stuff to be excited with for Universal. We're still twiddling our thumbs waiting for this damn Tron coaster in April.
Yeah, and so here's the thing with it is, you have that saying that Disney says, like, keep moving forward. I feel like Disney has to move backward a little bit before they can move forward again.
Yeah.
And Universal has been steadily moving forward.
Exactly.
It's like the rabbit and the hare.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Universal's the totally
tortoise and
hare?
hare?
I'm sorry. Did I say rabbit and hare?
Yeah.
I meant tortoise and hare.
Got you.
I got what you meant.
Universal's the tortoise, and Disney's been Disney the hare, of course, because they've been way up front for so long. Tortoise is slowly catching up.
Slowly
catching up. But
and some may argue it's in the lead right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, Danny, you brought up Tron, so yeah, let's get to some of this new stuff. So yeah, this last segment of the news is all the new stuff that announced during that same freaking week. First of all, which is, Tron that Danny, you brought up, and they were releasing tweets left and right. We posted it on the Facebook group trying to decipher their mysterious tweets that we're posting up and trying to figure out the opening date. But yeah, finally we got an opening date, right, Lee?
April 4th. What do you know?
4th.
Right after April Fool's. Yeah, finally, right? I mean, has it really been 7 years, or are you being facetious? Because that sounds ridiculous.
No, it's been at least 7 years since it's been announced as coming. I mean, it's been in Shanghai, and I want to say it's been about 7 years since it's been announced that it's coming. I could be mistaken.
No, the attraction has been under construction since 2018 at Walt Disney World.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's been under construction since 2018. It was probably announced in 2016.
Even before that, yeah. It's been long.
Yeah, it's been a long
2018
time.
to now, that's at least 6
And
years.
it's like
7
right
years.
now, as you're seeing more and more of what Universal's doing, it's like, but the Tron Coaster's coming. But the Tron Coaster's coming. It's like the dragons.
No,
in
seriously,
Game
the
of
Tron
Thrones.
Coaster's coming.
Yeah. And by the time it gets around to it, you stop caring. I don't know of anybody who's geared up and geeked out to go over there and see the Tron Coaster opening.
Well,
No.
Eric Grubb is, but
Who is?
Eric Grubb is.
Well, good, man. Good
Sure.
for Eric, man.
Yeah.
And God bless him. If he does it, I'd like to hear what
What he has to think.
What he has to say.
Absolutely, I agree.
But
if I'm over there, I will go see it. But again, this isn't like, oh my God, the Tron Coaster's here. That may have been a thing if it opened within 3 years of it being announced.
Right.
Then yeah, okay, cool. We're riding this momentum, we're riding this high together. But by now, it's kind of faded out.
Well, to put a timestamp on it, really, what was that when Kevin, not you, Kevin, but it was Kevin and the friend of Tigger when we first met them.
Yeah.
When they went,
Peter.
Yeah, Peter. Thank you. And then they went out there in Japan and rode, and it was like, wow, it was awesome. That's when we first got the high of it. But I mean, that's been so long. The studio changed, we changed. The world changed. I mean, so yeah, that's.
Studio got a different color.
Yeah, I mean, that just goes to his point. It's just been so long since the hype for that came out that, it's not like there's a Tron movie going on or anything to even add any more media hype to it. It's just there.
Yeah.
Yeah, two things. Yeah, I like Tron. I'm not in love with Tron. This is not enough for me to make a trip down there. In so much as the Avatar movie that was released, I still haven't seen. It's still not enough for me to go down back to Animal Kingdom.
Oh, wait, the way the water works?
The way water works.
Do y'all know anybody that's seen that movie?
I know one person that saw it.
I know people on my Facebook feed that have seen it and they love it.
Yeah.
I
they loved it
don't
too.
have a desire to do it.
No,
like
I
if it
don't
comes out on
either.
streaming, I'll watch it. But it's like I'm not going to go to the theater and watch it.
Like, I've literally heard no buzz whatsoever about this movie. Like, I have not heard. Remember, like, when Avatar, the first one came out, I dismissed it out of hand. I'm like, yeah. But people just kept coming up to you. You got to see this movie. You got to go see it.
It's a cinematic marvel.
There's nothing like I keep forgetting it's out.
Wait. Lee's awfully quiet. Lee, have you seen Avatar yet?
I haven't seen the first Avatar yet.
Oh,
good.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, well, there you
I don't
go.
care
All right.
nothing about the second one.
All right, well,
chilling.
screw Avatar
Right,
then.
that's
yeah.
it,
Well,
you
back
know?
to Tron. It'd be nice if they had a Flynn's Arcade. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be.
And then they had like a Wreck-It Ralph game too.
Yeah,
That'd be a nice
something.
way of a little Disney property kind of thing.
Yeah, up in the ante, if
Yeah.
you will. Because I was talking to someone about this ride who's a Disney fan, and they didn't know that this was coming out. But
Tron?
But then when I was explaining, like, oh, yeah, you
So
remember
they're
Tron.
not really a Disney fan then.
Well, they're a little old school on stuff. They more focus on the travel and then really going on the rides. But yeah, I won't touch that. But my point is that I had to still explain, it's like the light cycle and the movie, blah blah blah. So even if they bring this out, I mean, it's a whole different generation of people. So unless they really make that queue good enough that you can be immersed before you even take that ride to understand what is happening to you, I mean, you still lose a little magic with that. Because she didn't understand what I was talking.
I mean, there needs to be some promotions on Disney Plus. Like, here's the Tron movies. Maybe even throw it back into the theaters. Something like both movies, maybe the original as well as Tron Legacy.
You get Daft Punk to wave at you.
Yeah, I mean, I know this ride's based on Tron Legacy, but release them both or do something.
Yeah, do something
to make it more synergistic, I guess.
Yeah, but again, I don't even know that it matters. It's a roller coaster in the Magic Kingdom. People are going to go see it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
do it.
Tomorrowland, yeah.
And everyone's going to want to ride it at night.
Right.
I mean, that's going to be
Like,
the time
Space
to do
Mountain's
it.
long line, we'll go to Tron.
Right. It's not like Space Mountain suffers because there's no movie attached to it or anything like
That's
that.
true, yeah.
You know, look, they're going to get Tron. I'm sure they'll have something in the queue that helps explain it a little bit. But, I mean, who cares? It's a roller coaster. That's all people are riding it for.
I mean, my thing with Tron is like if you designed it like Dueling Dragons at Universal Orlando, if you remember, you had two coasters where they always came side by side, and you had two coasters for Tron. That one was, I mean, yes, this is based on Tron Legacy, but still, the light cycle issue is still the light cycle issue. You have two light cycles that go off, they cut each other off,
Yeah, they
somebody
crash.
dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you had a gold coaster and a blue coaster going at it, that would be a lot of fun.
Oh, that'd
And
be
one coaster
wicked.
dies.
Yeah, one coaster dies.
everybody's
Yeah,
one-
yeah, kind of like Mr. Toad. You know, depending which way you go, your scene changes when you go through the
Yeah.
tunnel.
If you lose, you got to leave the park for the day.
Yeah. So I mean that's my blue sky thought as far as I thought they should have done with Tron. But you know, with Tron aside, I know there's something in Disneyland that would be more attractive to me, but I'm sure we'll get to that later. But I think Lee,
Yeah, let's save the best
Disney,
for last.
yeah, I think Disney World's got some other things there. I guess maybe like an olive branchy type, but it's definitely something new-ish. What else they got going on?
Well, one's new and one's newish. The one that's newish is that Happily Ever After is coming back. So,
Okay.
yay, I guess. Like, I like that better than what they got now, but it still wasn't my favorite. But it's coming back, so I think that's a good improvement from what we've got now.
Okay.
And then Harmonious is going away, so that's a big yay for me.
That is a big yay.
I think that's a step in the right direction there. And apparently the platforms are also going away as well. So, you know, they could have just not paid money for those platforms and then they wouldn't have to charge for parking and Genie Plus and stuff like that. Like, how much did those things cost? And now I don't know what they're going to do with them. I'm hoping they're going to use them somewhere, but they're going away, which is, again, I think that's a positive. They're such an eyesore, and
Dude, they're going to sink them in just like Rolly Crump's Towers of the Four Winds. They're going to sink them in the Atlantic Ocean, or in our case, the Gulf of Mexico, and say good riddance kind of thing. Unfortunately, it's like, yeah, they spent all the money on that, but they were banking on that to be the next Illuminations. Which, you know, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be negative about it, but it's like, you know, to the pixie dust, it's like, oh, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. No, it wasn't. I'm sorry, it wasn't.
No.
You know, I really didn't feel any sort of way with Harmonious. Not that Epcot Forever is any better, but still, you know, that Epcot Forever is becoming like a stopgap. I think Epcot Forever is now the new planter. Like when they're changing things, they'll throw planters in front of an attraction. Epcot Forever is a new planter. Yes, they're going to the new 100 year celebration for the entire company itself. And I hope it's something that's really, really good and incorporate really, really good creatives to make it happen. But yeah, they spent all that money on the barges at Harmonious, and only to, number one, block the view of World Showcase Lagoon, and number two, just create a show that just like, you know, because I remember somebody telling me, it's like, if you love Disney music, you'll love the show. I watched the show, I'm like, you know, I love Disney music, but, and I appreciate the fact they had all these different languages and stuff, but still, the story of the show is nothing like Illuminations.
No. Well, that was the problem when you're replacing something great with something that is kind of unoriginal. I mean, the whole idea of watching the fireworks show that is just a hodgepodge and of different Disney songs. Mm-hmm. Not a unique experience, not a unique message. It's just, here's a snippet from The Lion King. Here's a snippet from Moana.
Oh, but it's in French. Oh, it's in Spanish. But still, it's still a snippet.
Exactly. And there's nothing unique in that resonates. It's like, okay, this is just like what I see over at, what's the name of that? Happily Ever After.
Happily Ever After,
exactly.
yeah.
Where it's like the castle show, where it's just all a hodgepodge of different moments from Disney movies. Illuminations was just so original, and that's kind of what I wish they would have done. Is when they replaced Illuminations, do Illuminations 3.0 or whatever, man.
Or you could even name it something different, but keep the same kind of formula.
Yeah,
They did not.
Illuminations, reflections of the universe. You know, reflections of whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you decide to come up with, whatever story you're trying to tell, but they play it safe. Time and time again, they play it safe. What do they like? They like our Disney movies. Give them the movies they like, pick the best songs from it, throw it into a little show, and that's it.
Oh, it's in World Showcase. We'll do it in a bunch of different languages.
Yeah.
That's it. And, you know, this is the thing. It's like maybe we should have thought of this, but it's like, you know, we've been in bed with Illuminations for so long. Whatever show was going to follow it was just going to be the Rebound Girl.
Yeah.
Or Rebound Guy, which doesn't usually last long.
But it treated us so good. How could we kick it out of bed? That was
Happily
really
Ever
good.
After followed Wishes, right?
Yeah.
And Happily Ever
Same
After
thing.
had its, its detractors.
It was
but
stout, yeah.
Nothing like Harmonious.
No.
Nothing like that. Again, Wishes is another one where I thought that I wish they kind of would have taken a second look at Wishes.
I'm with you right there.
And
That-
like,
Wishes
how
was
do we,
nice.
how do
That
we
gets you.
redo this? And we'll do it a different kind of a way, and we'll do certain shout outs to the original Wishes, and we'll just add on to that experience. We'll plus Wishes. That would have been a way to go. That's my problem, is that they don't pay attention to, okay, this show was a huge show. We maybe just, instead of replacing it completely, we add to it, or we plus it in some kind of a way, and we keep what worked, and we change out some of the things that we felt could have been done better.
Or maybe even analyze, why did this show come off so well?
You could do it like you do like PhilharMagic, man. Like where it's like you just add in different scenes. When
Yeah.
you want to.
I think that would have been great.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But
Actually.
keep the duck butt.
You
Always got to keep the
butt.
duck butt.
Keep the duck butt.
Yeah. All right, Lee. So rounding out this segment of new Disney stuff, which also happened in the same week that Universal released their stuff, and then Disney released their olive branchy type stuff, we got a new announcement of something that maybe we wish was on the East Coast, but I'm kind of happy it's on the West Coast. What we got?
Tianas.
Oh, I love
Restaurant.
Tiana. Tiana's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, coming soon. The French Market Restaurant, New Orleans Square, is going to be reimagined as Tiana's Palace. So this is going to be what we've asked for, which is a Tiana's restaurant. Now, it's not going to be a character meal, which I think would have been a better option, but Tiana is still, out there to meet and greet and stuff like that. But yeah, so we're getting a restaurant, and they're going to have Emerald headed up.
Oh, are they really?
Just kidding. No, just kidding.
No, I was about to say.
Nicely.
Time out, because like Carnival hired Emerald to be like their chef. Like Emerald is now Carnival's chef. He's going to design all the different foods on it. I was like, and it's funny because I think it was you that posted it in the Facebook group, and I made that like little tongue in cheek things. Like, I wonder if they're going to use New Orleans chefs to create the menu and make sure it's right. And of course, everybody laughed, and I was laughing too because like I know they're not going to do that. But it's like there's a little bit of glimmer of hope for me because Carnival hired Emerald. And, Emerald, I know he's not from New Orleans, but he's been around New Orleans enough. He knows New Orleans people. I mean, he worked at Commander's Palace, for God's sake. He knows enough about us that he can do it right. But, and this is no knock on Blue Bayou, but it's like, are they going to do Tiana's correct? You're talking about a restaurant based on Dookie Chase. Dookie Chase is an institution in New Orleans cuisine.
Yeah.
Her restaurant, everything else. That's what the movie is based upon. Are you going to do this right? Are you going to get Dookie to actually do it?
They're not
Design the menu, teach the people how to do it, send them to New Orleans so they learn how to do it correct. Turn them to New Orleans to actually make a decent roux.
You know that answer, no, Kevin.
I know. The answer's no.
I gotta tell you,
Everybody laughing.
I know three older ladies out there in the projects could come over there and cook all that stuff up for them right now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're going to do that? No, they're not going to do that.
But they would come cheap and cook a big old vat of it. I mean,
But look, it's the thought of what they're doing. That it was a New Orleans-based restaurant before this.
Yes.
They weren't doing it to begin with, so they're not going to do it now. They're just adding a little something in there that I think we all would have liked. Now, would we like to see Tiana's be a 5-star kind of meal? Like, I mean, don't just give us so many
signature dining.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Signature dining as opposed to like really just counter service food, like Applebee's type sit down food or whatever you want to
good
call
point.
I
it.
mean, that's what you got with Blue Bayou already.
Right.
So, I mean, I agree with you, Danny. I would love to see this be like a 5-star. Get Brennan's involved.
Yeah.
Get Besh involved in too. I mean, Paul Prudhomme's people. I know, rest in peace.
get them ladies from around the corner
Get
from me.
Eli's neighbors involved.
They'll cook it up for you.
Get people from down the bayou, down in Houma, down in Morgan City.
Get Kirk over there. Kirk will tell him what's up.
They would freak out over boiled shrimp, like pulling the heads off of shrimp and stuff
That's
like that.
exactly
They would freak out, man.
They couldn't handle
Frying some
head-on
oysters.
shrimp, let alone like trying to eat a
that's
crawfish.
right. Yeah, because they did it at Skipper Canteen where they had the head-on shrimp, and people lost their mind. Like, oh my God, what the hell are y'all doing?
Right.
Shrimp has heads?
Yes.
Like, yes.
Yeah.
This was swimming in the ocean before you got swam into your mouth.
I don't want to meet my food.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. I put the heads on my fingers and say, hey, I'm eating your ass. You are delicious, mother.
That's wild. You gonna just like they put the fingers right to you.
Yeah.
And
Put 'em all
anybody,
together like a puppet show.
anybody who's been to dinner with Kevin will attest that yes, Kevin does do that.
Kevin does do that.
likes to stare his food in the eye and just say,
You're done.
I am top of the
you.
food chain.
I'm on you.
Yeah. O'Doyle rules.
and you will pass through me, and I will gain strength because of you.
That's right. I will get all your nutrients. Leave the
Like the
behind.
Highlander.
In fact, I will call it.
Yes. I mean, I guess the other thing too is I don't want them to like say make a hamburger, throw a whole bunch of pepper on it, and then call it like an alligator Cajun burger.
Cajun burger.
Yeah, I
you're
don't
right.
because I've been to
Black it.
places. Yeah, I've been to other places in other states where they're like, oh, you're from New Orleans, here, try this, and they'll give me some like burnt plate of food, and like there you go, and that Cajun style, like no, baby, that's burnt, that's burnt. So I don't want that to be. And I'm not. We haven't eaten there yet.
We haven't eaten there.
We
No,
haven't
yeah,
eaten there
right.
yet. And it is awesome to have the representation, like we stated earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how people are. If you go and eat somewhere, even though it's not New Orleans, you eat somewhere, try the food. Your mind's just gonna think, "Oh, that's how New Orleans cooking is." So yeah, please Disney, take care of our culture with that.
Yeah, but you know how tired people are of hearing us call out Disney for disrespecting our culture.
I know, but it's
Yeah.
woke time. It's okay.
You know,
Well, you would think, but other people are like, yeah, you're bitching too much about your stupid little culture. You
I mean,
know?
they can go in the middle and get the folks from Papados to help them out. You know, it's like it's not real authentic,
Papados.
but it's still pretty good. You know,
yeah.
something like
But,
that.
you know, I would love to see like some place where a bunch of expats help work this restaurant, make the menu good.
I
To
would
like
hope.
give a good representation of what we actually eat outside of New Orleans. Like maybe like that's the one place where you can guarantee if you want to try authentic, this is as close as it gets. You know, 'cause, I mean, granted, I know Universal in Orlando does Mardi Gras, but they do it after Mardi Gras. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. They can hire all the brass bands they want, but ends on Fat Tuesday.
And if there's no women flashing in the streets for beads, it's not Mardi Gras.
It's not real. Yeah, that's right.
Nobody peeing on the side of the streets. It's not Mardi
If you ain't
Gras.
got smoked sausage like in a cart, cooking somewhere, it ain't Mardi Gras.
If you don't have marching bands with a guy coming along with his arm sticking out that'll knock your kid 5 feet backwards,
Damn
it ain't
straight.
Mardi Gras.
Yeah, and if you ain't got like snapping pops going off all over the place because your kiddies want something from the cart, it ain't Mardi Gras.
That's right.
If you don't have one of those drummers with the big bass drum banging that sucker right 2 inches from your eyeball, like you're going to lose an eye. If
Yes.
this dude's off by, it ain't Mardi Gras.
Yeah, and you got the parents with the bands that say, push, pass that back,
Yes.
move back, move back.
Move.
It ain't Mardi Gras.
No.
That's right.
If somebody doesn't fall off a float from public drunkenness, it's not Mardi Gras.
All run over by one.
If you ain't got cold ass Popeyes in the neutral ground, it ain't Mardi Gras.
That's right. If your kids ain't sitting in a toolbox that's attached to a ladder, it's not Mardi Gras.
2 feet from a moving float,
Exactly.
not Mardi Gras.
If you're not holding your kid high up in the air so people can throw a pack of beads as hard as they can at your kid's head, it ain't Mardi Gras.
Hey,
And,
Mardi
and
Gras.
look, if you ain't that shady mother underneath the kid with that's on the shoulders trying to catch the refuse that falls,
Yeah.
it ain't Mardi Gras.
Hey, Mardi Gras.
If you're not getting knocked over by kids walking backwards following the float just to catch anything they can,
Oh, that's right.
it's not Mardi Gras.
That's
That's
right.
And if your finger has not been stepped on by a foot trying to get a doubloon, it ain't Mardi Gras.
And
That's
if
right.
there's not the smell of horse in the air, and a guy-
Wafting every so
On the middle of the
gently.
street.
and as periodically a guy with a shovel and a trash can comes along the route to scoop up after the animals, it's not Mardi
That's
Gras.
right.
And look, if you don't look at that porta potty and see the line, and you're like, it, I'm gonna hold it. It ain't Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras. It ain't Mardi Gras.
So, yeah. there's
We could do this forever.
We could bring it, man.
We
You know,
could do this forever.
yeah, we feel like Jeff Foxworthy here.
Yeah,
or something.
It
Yeah.
does. It does. I had like another one, so yeah.
You
go
might
ahead,
be a
Fia.
coon ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
But,
That's it.
Yeah, that's all just to say is like, Tiana's Plaza. I mean, we love Tiana. We know what's happening in Walt Disney World with Tiana. Maybe Disneyland will, I mean, they've been doing a lot of good things right. So maybe Tiana's Palace will do the right thing. And, when we go there and eat, it'd be like, oh man, yeah, I'm in California. I'm looking forward to get all this West Coast food, but maybe I want a little taste of home. Maybe I want some spice.
Yeah.
I want something that makes my not spice that's hot that burns you, but just makes my taste buds want to dance. I can go to Tiana's place. Not that there's anything wrong with Blue Bayou. I don't mind Blue Bayou. But, take me to Tiana's Palace where I can order a Sazerac or a French 75 or Old Fashioned or any other, like a Pimm's Cup or whatever you want.
That's a good question as to whether or not they're going to serve alcohol there, because there's only a few spots in Disneyland that does, right? I think
Blue Bayou
came along recently, but I'm not sure.
That's a good question.
Oga's Cantina.
Oga's Cantina. I mean, if it's Tiana's Palace in New Orleans, you got to serve alcohol.
Yeah, a French 75 or...
whether regular or frozen is special.
They're saying that the mint juleps are staying, but I'm assuming those are non-alcoholic. So
they are non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
But
They're going to serve a daiquiri?
Traditionally, the mint julep is an alcoholic drink.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the ones that they're already serving.
Those mint juleps that they make over there are really damn good. Like, and I don't know. I like the sweetness.
Yeah.
I want to go to Disneyland.
I want to go to Disneyland.
real quick.
Aside from going to Disneyland, I'd love to do an armchair Imagineering show where we design the menu for Tiana's Palace.
Oh, God.
Like, this is what I feel like should be there.
Oh, boy.
Like the drinks I aforementioned should be there. You gotta have a Sazerac. You gotta have
a Sazerac.
French 75.
Yeah,
Sure.
75.
You gotta have a Pimm's Cup. A damn good milk punch, Bloody Mary.
Oh, brandy milk punch for
Brandy
sure.
milk punch for sure. That's from Brennan's. A Bloody Mary, a good Bloody Mary.
Gotta have bananas Foster.
Gotta have bananas
That's gotta be
Foster.
dessert.
Beignets. Tiana in the movie he makes beignets. You better have some damn good beignets.
Well, we know about that.
And we don't want no doughy. We want the
We
good
want
stuff.
that crispy shit.
You need
Yeah.
gumbo with a lot of things sticking out of it.
Yes.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
With a
not-
good roux.
Not
Crab
that yet.
claws.
Not that thing that looks like soup, like it's clear. That's
No.
not gumbo.
No.
Yeah, it's got to be thick. It's got to be a roux.
Bubbly
It's got to
with
be
that chunks of sausage.
Yeah, you got
crabs,
sausage, crab legs hanging out.
chicken, a chicken bone,
Some
a
po'
big-
boys.
right out there.
Oh, a righteous po' boy, dude, man! Make a contract with Leidenheimers or whatever bread,
I'm getting
and
hungry.
get it out. Rieslings, man, send it out there to California and cook and make yourself a real po' boy.
King cake for dessert.
King cake, yeah, but only during
no.
Mardi Gras. See, only during
Mardi
only
Gras.
between Epiphany and Fat Tuesday. That's
Fair
it.
enough.
I'm never a fan of the king cake.
I mean,
I know. Yeah, I like king cake, but I know you like the
Bananas
Yeah.
Foster,
Yeah.
I think, is the more traditional New Orleans dessert. King cake is kind of a little.
Well, it's all right. It's a particular,
tradition.
But they can do
It's a
it
Mardi Gras thing.
They can do it
That's the thing.
seasonally. If
Yeah.
that's a seasonal dessert, you add it
Sure.
to the menu. It's like one of those little pieces of paper they shove in the
So
menu.
that-
and if
Yeah.
you get the baby, you get a fast pass.
There you go. There you
Dude,
go.
we got it.
There you go.
Dude,
You
we could
made it.
design that. We could design that whole thing, man.
Yes, for y'all that don't know, when you have a king cake in New Orleans, there's a baby that comes, a little plastic cupid baby that you hide in the king cake. And whoever gets that piece of the king cake with the baby has to buy the next king cake.
Right.
What ends up happening is when you have children, they all want to get the baby. They have no money, so you have to buy another king cake.
That's right.
That's really what it's been bastardized to. But it used to be back in the day. Yeah, you had to buy.
You had to buy the king cake, and if you cut into a piece and you like happen to cut the baby, that's yours.
Yes.
You don't be taking out of your piece and shoving into the piece next to it. That ain't right.
You ain't
I thought it was
never
gonna
did
be like
that?
Solomon. You cut the baby in half.
Make a decision.
Oh yeah.
You never did that. I was like, you did it like when you broke G.I. Joe. You never take the rubber band and tie both halves of the baby
Oh,
together. It's like,
I'm gonna lie that maybe I shoved it into the next piece.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Muffalata. You gotta have.
Oh,
a
you got it.
muffalata.
Yes, you gotta have
a
grocery
Yes.
muffalata.
wow.
Absolutely.
Honest
I
to
never
God,
knew about
muffalata.
muffaladas until I came to Louisiana.
Central Grocery, man. You got to get
And I
that.
love
French life. That would catch on huge, I think.
Big
I think
time.
so.
Yeah.
Big time.
Because
Big time.
muffaladas is a great
That's a staple.
sandwich.
That is a staple.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? Yeah, we could have a lot of fun designing Tiana's menu for that. We threw out a bunch of stuff, but yeah, hopefully they do it right, man. I'll be curious, and that would be one place that would definitely, once it opens, gets me out there.
It has a
Yeah.
lot of potential, and the fact that they're having the right attitude to it, though, they should at least have more characters there just to pump up the land a little bit.
Well, you know, and I even
think. Or the mythos, that might be a better word.
I posted on the group. I was like, finally, a Tiana retheme we can all get behind.
Mm-hmm. ...
I think.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you never know for sure. But I mean, it's like, yeah, dude, I love the idea of seeing her there. I hate the idea of everything's got to be IP. Now, I do hate that, but Blue Bayou's still there. And so I can take that, and I do think this is something that's begging for this. You know, like we didn't need a Beauty and the Beast restaurant. No. We got it. It's nice for what it is, but there was nothing in the story about Belle was a cook or Beast was a cook.
Right.
You had the dining room experience, and they just extrapolated it from there. Here you have a whole movie built around a woman wanting to be a chef.
Yeah, this was her whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, this
You
should've
saw
happened.
the restaurant in her fantasy, and the first thing I thought is like, God, I hope we get that restaurant.
Yeah.
I want to eat there. I want to eat in like a steamship looking
I
restaurant.
always wanted it. Yeah, I always wanted it on the steamship. Where
I want jazz music
traveling-
playing.
yes.
Yeah, I want all
Like a
that.
jazz brunch on the steamship circling.
That's it.
Yeah.
Dude, on the
Rivers of
weekends, they got to do, like maybe Thursday through Sunday, they offer a brunch. And the rest of the days, it's regular lunch, dinner menu. But
Oh, God.
they got to offer brunch Thursday through Sunday at least. Man, yeah, we could go off on this Armchair Imagineering show if we decide to do this.
Well, especially when now I used to want to go to Disneyland. Now I just want to get food.
Now I just want to get this right. Yeah.
I'm hungry.
So, Lee, I think it's safe we covered all the things that were announced last week.
Yes. Is there anything that we missed?
Yeah, it was a palooza for sure. There was a lot of news that came out. So glad we got to cover it. Exciting stuff. All positives. I mean, some are a little on the middle of the road, but still a lot of good stuff going on.
A lot of making up. There's a lot of making up.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yes. And look, hey, we're willing to be wooed. I just want to be careful. I don't want people. You know what I'm afraid of?
You've been hurt before.
It's you know what it's like? It's like when they raise the price of gas and like you're paying like $5 a gallon now, and all of a sudden they drop it, and now you're paying $4, and you're like, ooh, well, I'm getting a deal. But meanwhile, you used to pay $3.
Right.
Yes.
And so you feel better about paying $4, but you used to pay.
Right.
It feels like this is going to be what happens with this.
You got to be smart. You got to be smart watching what you're buying into.
Oh, man.
But look, who knows? There could be more news that happens this following week or the week after, or even next month. There's a lot of stuff that's happening. I know we as a podcast, Mardi Gras season's wrapping up. It's gonna be crazy.
But to keep things on a positive note, Disney, keep up the good work. Do more, do better.
Pepper yourself.
I like that you're thinking this way, but
Keep trying.
yeah, look, you're gonna have to do a little bit better. A little bit better. I like what I'm seeing thus far, though. This was enough to make me start pricing out a trip again.
Great, man. Look, tons of news, man. I'm hoping there's more news that pops up. But if not, we'll always have some kind of good content. Maybe we'll flesh out the appetizers, the main meals of Tiana's restaurant. Who knows? We got a bunch of stuff to talk about on our road to 500. So, guys, look, we want to hear what you think about these news items that happened this past week. We posted some of them in our group. Those that are not in our group, we want to hear from you guys. And we're going to tell you how to do that in just a little bit. Well, we hope you enjoyed that segments of all the news that happened in the past week. Look, MagicOurWay.com is the way to go if you want to learn about our social media links, past episodes, and more. Plus, if you want to get in touch with us to share your opinions on any of the things that we talked about today, you can do so through the following ways. First, shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com or call or text us at 1-815-MO-WEEKEND. That is 1-815-MO-WEEKEND 669-4226. And of course, we have a couple of guys do things outside of the podcast. First of all, we got Eli, does things with comics. Sir, what you got going on?
Yeah, you can always go to the Ivory Comics website, so www.ivorycomics.com, and see all the good work I have for Project Geisha, Savages, and the Molly Be Damned. There's also a link to this podcast, so you never miss a beat. You can always support the arts, because that's what we're about. That's how Synergy works. So www.ivorycomics.com. Get all that love there. Facebook.com, right there, Eli H. Ivory, as long as you're a real person. Nice to meet you, but if you're a bot, don't need to greet you. My ham. I don't even know where you're from, but get off my stuff. My ham. Yeah. Project Geisha has a Facebook page, so facebook.com/Project Geisha. You can see what I have going there. Instagram, eIvory504. Post up the hearts and the likes to see what you got. And of course, on Twitter, unless Elon Musk kicked me off, I can be found at Hancock10166. So if you appreciate the baddest, he's bringing me the gladdest. Thank you very much.
What did you do to get Elon Musk kicking you off of... Did I say Musk? Or
Dude, you say that. I thought he said Eli Musk. I'm like, wait.
I always get it. It's a tough name to just let it.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Like Musk.
Muskie. I told him I didn't like the design of his truck. And then he was just like, get out of here.
Oh.
I don't. I really don't. It looks like a Tonka toy.
I don't even know what his truck looks like. I'm like actually looking for a truck that looks like yours.
It's like a Tonka toy.
Yeah, I'm looking for an old school truck.
Oh, you want me to sell your mine?
No, not. That's kind of old.
Just check it. It's there for
how much you want to sell for it?
I don't know, $2.
Dude, I will buy your truck for $2.
I would talk it down to $1.
Whose friend are you?
my lawyer says I should count you down to $1.
It's $1.50.
$1.50. Oh, man. But anyway, guys, look, man, it's awesome stuff, man. Check it out, ivorycomics.com.
Thank you.
And if you want to book a vacation to either Disneyland or Disney world or I guess Universal. You could do Universal too, right, Lee?
Universal too? Let's do
Yeah.
it.
How do you do it, man? How do they book with you?
Just give me a call at 832-431-1621. You can email me at lee@magicourway.com. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Lostovica Travel. That's LASTOVICA Travel. Instagram, you got a friend in Lee Travel. And TikTok, you got a friend in Lee. And if you're doing that, we'll get you hooked up and booked up with no.
Hasselvika.
Lee can book all of that. Make sure you do that with magical notifications. And look, there's so many other ways to support the show as a whole, and you can find them all on our website, magicourway.com. Plus, if you want to elevate your support of the Magic Our Way podcast, go to patreon.com/Magic Our Way. There you will find 6 awesome tiers to support the show. And any way in which you can support the show is deeply appreciated. We also want to thank you for being a listener, and we always love hearing from our listeners. All opinions are always welcome in the Magic Our Way podcast, so make sure you get in touch with us today. So, Mohicans, we say Kwaherini. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.
I have every intention of eating those bananas for breakfast, but I still somehow end up with tacos.
Shrimp heads.
Shrimp heads.
Shrimp heads, shrimp heads,
Shrimp heads.
roly-poly.
Hey, this is Kevin from the Magic Our Way podcast.